The first thing I noticed in that clip is that when I go from the F to the high A, that there's a lot of sound in between and it looks like my hand is doing a lot of motion. So what you want to do instead is roll your index finger onto the key, like this. Another issue I noticed in that clip is that instead of my head being straight like this, it was facing down like this. To get the best sound, you want to play with your head facing exactly straight with the clarinet down at a 30-degree angle with your body. Another issue I noticed in this clip, and consistently throughout the video, was that my fingers were coming very high above the tone holes when I wasn't covering them. Instead, what you want is you want your fingers to be about 1/2 inch above the holes when you're not covering them. So instead of playing like this, you want to play like this. The reason my sound stopped in that clip is because I wasn't covering the tone holes completely. When you don't cover the holes completely, you can get this kind of sound. When instead, you need to cover the entire holes. One thing I noticed in this clip that is pretty consistent throughout the video is that my posture was not ideal for playing the clarinet. Instead of being slouched over like this, you want to make sure you're standing or sitting nice and tall and relaxed at the same time. Now, one big issue with this clip was my tonal quality. While I had enough air to support the sound, I was very tense and the sound sounded very forced. So instead of playing like this, I need to play a little more relaxed. One thing I noticed in this clip that was also pretty consistent throughout the video was that I wasn't taking a very good breath. I was taking kind of a shallow breath like this. Instead, you want a lot of breath support. One issue with this clip was that my sound was very shaky. Now that can come from both the air and the embouchure. So I need to make sure that I have good air support and also that my embouchure is firm, but not too tight. Instead of this. One issue that was in this clip and a lot of the other clips as well is that my articulation wasn't very consistent. So I need to make sure that when I articulate, I'm articulating at the tip of the reed here. Not in between and not too low, but right near the tip.